I see I would have lost the poll because I would have had Mr. Peak in some type of neckwear. I don't see a collar or any type of neckwear. Disappointed.
My shirt has a collar.
And there's Coach. Coach is here. So it looks like, Ian, we can turn off that waiting room now.
Okay, all set.
And again, just to get some of the preliminaries out of the way, the session is being recorded. We'll distribute it to you for your usage, either your external usage or internal usage once the session concludes. Please put yourself on mute as Coach is going to be making a few opening comments. And as is our ritual, of course, Jerry, we're going to have you lead things off with the questioning, and we can go from there. So, our respect to our elder statesmen. But with that, I will hand things off to Coach and put myself on mute. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Hey guys, good to see your faces again. I don't know when the last time it's been since. It seems like March, but I know we did one kind of in the middle of that quarantine time. But everything's going good here. Well, appreciate you guys taking the time today to come, talk about Pitt football, and we're obviously, working day by day with what we're given and in the circumstances that we're all dealing with. I know you guys are dealing with stuff too at your work with your families and everything else, but everything is great in Pitt football, and that's the positive is we're having fun. Our kids are good. We just finished practice, walk through summer access number 7 today. We'll have another one tomorrow morning. So if you guys want to park up on the hill and watch what's going on, don't you dare. We'll throw you out, Jerry. We may even go inside because I told you that, but we'll be on number 8 tomorrow, give them Sunday off. And then I think we'll have 4 more summer accesses, which will give us 12 of our 14 that were allowed. And then we'll roll right into camp on, I guess, Thursday afternoon, and with our first helmets practice on Friday, the 7th. So that's kind of what's going on there. I guess I'll leave it open for questions for you guys, because I'm sure you got a few, because it's been a long time, Jerry. It's a nice tree you got back there. Is that an oak tree, maple tree? What do you got back there?
A big cherry tree, actually.
Ooh, you got some fresh cherries on that tree?
No, it's half dead, actually.
Oh, really? Oh, give it some.
So how you doing, Pat?
I'm doing good.
There's a lot of directions we could go, I guess, but I'm most interested, Pat, in
injuries.
Your thoughts on the schedule that came out and all the games you had, and playing Clemson again, and why the ACC sort of gave you maybe the toughest schedule in the conference.
You know what? I can't probably comment too much on that, Jerry. You try to get me in trouble. So I won't tell you I love it or hate it. I tell you this: I want to play Clemson. I want to play the best teams we can possibly play. So I love our schedule. I think our kids are fired up about it. I think you could see how fast they tweeted stuff out as far as let's go. And, I don't know what that little blue guy with the call stuff is. I haven't seen that one. I don't know if I got that one on my iPhone. I got to get that one. EJ, do you know what that's called, that little blue guy? I don't know what it looks like. It looks like some echoing. But I love our schedule. Do I love the travel? Not necessarily. And when I look at some of the flights that we have, when you look at it operationally, you look at the distance that we have to fly, I kind of wish we had some closer flights. But I think when you look at the safety of our student athletes, flying down to Miami, flying all the way, I thought we'd be a lot closer, put it that way. I thought we might have a game in North Carolina and Virginia. And again, I'm not criticizing. I'm just giving you an observation you asked. Like I said, I love our schedule. I love who we're playing, but I also worry about the health and safety of our players and our team. And that's the most, important thing. So I do worry about being on a plane longer than some other people have to be on a plane. Being on a plane for 2 hours with a mask on, and, I think the longer you're on a bus or the longer you're on a plane, there's more concerns for you. The longer they're, as soon as they get to that hotel and they can go up in a room and be quarantined in a room is obviously what I'm all about. And again, it's about the safety of our kids and our coaches, staff for that matter, and everybody that travels with us. So travel is a concern. I thought we'd be closer, but what do I know? Nobody asked me one question as far as, who we wanted to play or what do you think? You just hope good decisions are being made. So I go like this, please pray. But I'm happy with the schedule, and we'd love to go down and play Clemson. We want to play the best, and to me, our kids are fired up. They want to go play the best too. I think, I think when you go to Clemson, you're going to get the best.
Pat, what are your thoughts on Notre Dame being a full conference member for this year and being eligible for the ACC title game too?
Again, another, very talented football team that, recruits, some of the best players in the country every single year inside and outside. Again, we had them on the schedule anyway, so I'm glad they didn't take them off the schedule. We want Notre Dame to come to Heinz Field. I hope we're able to have a few fans there. If not fans, maybe they'll let you guys come to the game and sit in the press box. As far as them playing in the ACC, that's great. I mean, it's great for the ACC. I wish it was a permanent member, to be honest with you. I think, I'm not pulling those strings. But, I thought we had some leverage, but, you would think they might be permanent right now. So, but I'm excited about them being in the conference, and let's go. It's just another team that gets a chance to go win a championship, and it'll make it that even more sweeter when you're able to get to a championship and play another team.
Pat, you brought up the whole concern about traveling and going those distances and being on a plane that long. Is that something that you or the administration at Pitt can bring up with the ACC, those concerns? Because as you said before, you're doing a lot more traveling than you had planned to originally. Yeah, I mean,
I would hope they knew that already. So I don't think they're going to go flip the schedule around, and I'm not bringing that up because of it. I just realized that, I think we're playing the 5 furthest teams that we could possibly play, and it's a concern for me, and we're going to have to take precautions as a staff and, as doctors. Dr. Mayers has done an incredible job. Our medical team, by the way, has done an incredible job. Our trainers, our doctors, all the advice we've gotten has done an incredible job with our kids. So I just want to keep doing that. I mean, if we're not doing a great job, then we got issues. We've been very excited about what we're doing, and it's just another concern. And it was a concern back 2 months ago when we talked about what was going on, and it's obviously still a concern, is the safety of our kids. And so I don't have a problem, saying that, period.
I know you said you're talking about your schedule. Have you allowed yourself to dwell on maybe what the schedules for other teams have looked like, who ended up playing who, and maybe who ended up not getting, you know what I mean?
I haven't really, Chris. I mean, I got this thing, I don't know, it's somewhere I got so much, crap on my desk right now. I got that thing, I've looked a little bit at it. I've had people text me and give me tidbits like, wow, they got it good. I mean, I know there's some people that don't have to travel very far, and they can all play each other, a nice little neighborhood game together, which is very, very convenient. So some people have a little bit more convenient than others, but that's kind of the way the cookies crumbled, I guess.
What do what does it look like going forward then? I mean, you said you're going to start up with camp. I mean, what's a practice going to look like in training camp this year?
Well, we've been practicing, when I say walkthroughs, I mean, you're walking through and you're not obviously having contact yet. And it's, it's kind of a day by day deal. It's kind of, you talk about practice, Chris, how about a meeting? Right now we're having meetings in the indoor facility. We got the chairs spaced out. We got, these screens, these portable screens that we're putting up. We got masks on. We're, taking every precaution and being safe. So, it starts with meetings. I mean, usually, camp, I mean, we're there from 6 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and we have evening meetings. We have probably an hour meeting in the evenings. And I'm worried about that indoor, that we may, boil like an egg in there. And Coach LaSalle, Chris LaSalle is trying to work on getting some air conditions in there. If you guys if you guys want to bring your cars, pull up, we'll open the doors and see if we can get some of the air conditioning to come out of your cars. We're taking any advice. But I'm worried about it being too hot, and then our kids are getting dehydrated, and I don't want to do that. So we're trying to figure out how we still meet. Right now we're getting position meetings done. We've got a way of getting that done. We're meeting as a team in the morning for 5 minutes, which is just a great way to get them together. But, it's not the heat of the day. It's been 7:30 in the morning that we'll have a team meeting in the indoor. What's going to happen when we want to have a 7:30 game? That thing's like heat box, as you guys know, even if you have the fans on. So I'm worried about what the temperature is going to be like to even have a team meeting. I don't want everybody to walk out there and have to go back to take a shower, because guess what, Chris? It's hard to take a shower nowadays too. It's, too many, 25 guys in the locker room. We've got to do a good job, try to manage that. And some guys want to stay in the shower forever. So, we put a clock on it. like you have to do for your children, right, Kelly? I see Kelly laughing over there. She knows, putting people in the shower, like, hey, we all want some hot water. And it's not a matter of hot water. It's a matter of getting out so the next guys can get in, because they got to go, they got to go Zoom into a class somewhere sometime.
Pat, what do you tell your players about their responsibility when they're not at practice?
Yeah, Jeff, great question. And that's something we've harped on. And I try to use other people's problems as examples to, whether it's Rutgers having a, campus party, I say, hey, there'll be some nice parties in Oakland or South Oakland, wherever you want to go. However, if you just want to shut it down for 14 days, just let me know. We can shut it down for 14 days and you guys can go party for 14 days if you want to. So I think our kids have done an incredible job, Jeff. Again, it's, someone's going to make a mistake out there. I'm using the mistakes as learning experiences for our guys. And like I said, we've done a great job. Our doctors have given us great advice. We've kind of just educated our guys even way before they even came back on campus, about wearing a mask and being safe. And, our guys have done a good job, and they understand that, it's all right. Football season's riding on how smart, how accountable you are, as far as what you do off the field. And I'll go on to say this, and EJ will probably yell at me afterwards, but, I'll go say this. It's been 22 days since we've had a positive test. Okay. And I say that 22 days, you can go ahead and count back to when we got here. And I'm not going to get into numbers because I think numbers don't mean anything anyway, but it's been 22 days since we've had a positive test here, which, I knock on some wood, and, and again, that tells you what our kids are doing. They're not going back and messing around having that. And again, I use that number with them every day, guys. Hey, 22, when it was 19, it's 19 days, guys, keep going. You guys are doing a heck of a job. So just continue to pump them up every day about what they're doing and how responsible they're being off the field. And, 22 days is long. I'll probably get fired tonight for saying that, but I'll give you no more information on that except, to let you know things are going good and our kids are doing a good job.
Pat, have you had to develop any kind of different or unusual plans as far as, what you might have to do with backups, especially positions where maybe you don't have a ton of depth? And are you like telling your two kickers to, never be anywhere near each other in case you got to shut one of them down, stuff like that?
I'm worried about showers and keeping them safe. But when you talk different and crazy plans and all that, and I mean, every day is like that, Alan. I mean, every day we're kind of like, every day is like that. I mean, different and unusual. That's the world we live in right now. Everything's different and unusual. So yeah, we plan stuff like that. We talk about every day we change something like, hey, we should do this. As far as, our players are entering, we've got two different squads going on the field to keep our numbers down, but, maybe the offense is going out to practice and they're running out on the field that day. And then the defense is coming out afterwards. The first day we were coming towards each other, all of a sudden that's not good. Like they got to exit the other way. So every day it's like you learn something new. Like we have to do this way. We got to take showers this way. We got to turn the hot water off after 5 minutes. Just turn it off and see how they like that shower. So we turn the hot, we have, Derek moves, our equipment guy turned the hot water off so that, gets him out of the shower. Jerry, you like that, huh? Turn the hot water off, right? You still awake? Would you moved places there. You went from the tree to the inside the house. Must have been getting hot out there.
I had too much glare on the screen.
So every day is a different day. Alan, I don't know if I answered your question. Ask it again, and I'll give you some.
Yeah. No. So I mean, with all this being different, and everything is different, of course, but how do you expect that to kind of play out on the field once you do get out there? How do you think all these changes and everything being the way it is now is going to affect the way college football looks Saturdays in September, October?
Well, if I had a crystal ball, or if I knew, there's probably only one guy who knows how this whole thing's going to go, and he's up above. But I have no idea. And again, we can't, change the world. Here in Pittsburgh, we can only control what we can control in the city of Pittsburgh and at the University of Pittsburgh. So I don't know what's going to look like, but we're going to try to do our best to put the best product we can on the field. I'm hoping and praying that when we get out there, that guys aren't spitting on the field. We got, hand sanitizer on the field. We got a system of making sure guys aren't sucking on the same bottle, which we always do. So, because, you don't want any germs at all. Then when this pandemic came, it's even more critical of people, wiping bottles off automatically, and guys having their own water bottle out there with their name on it, whatever it may be. we've got plans for everything, but I'm hoping when we do get out there, that things are smooth and that, that we're not, passing the virus on, but don't know.
Pat, I mean, to that end, you see what baseball is dealing with right now, and those are grown men with smaller teams, and ostensibly they're just like supposed to be hotel, ballpark, hotel, plane, hotel, ballpark. I mean, that's you guys. You guys are going to be out in the community. They're not going to be holed up in their room. How do you protect them? When they're out being 18 to 22-year-old kids.
Will, were you late today? You muted. You're muted.
No, I called in. I just was out running an errand. I thought this was the 2:30.
You look like you're out playing golf. Did you hit them straight, or did you?
Hell no, never.
You look like you're ready to play some golf. Well, I don't know how we're going to keep them safe. We're going to try to do the best, that we can. We're going to educate our kids, educate our staff, because the staff's no different than our players. But continue to educate them and hope they're making good decisions off the field. That's the only thing we can do. Is hope we educate them and make sure they're being safe. And, you look at some of the, you look at the, the Marlins coming into Philly, and you hear rumors, and I don't know if rumors are out there, but I heard there was some clubbing going on the night before down in Atlanta, if they were truly in Atlanta, if it's rumors. So I don't want to be one to pass rumors around, but are they truly going home? I don't know. I heard in the NFL, they're getting fined if they don't, if they're found outside in a club or something like that. Is that true? You guys probably know more than I do. I don't read much about I read about college football. So, everybody's got something different, but, I saw Arizona suspended a guy because he broke protocol, which I think is a great idea, by Kevin Sumlin. And if someone's if someone's going out there and it's going to hurt the rest of the team, I've got no problem in doing that in the future as well.
A quick follow-up. Will you guys allow the kids to go to class, or will it be your recommendation that they do distance learning during the fall?
You know what? I think it's a choice that the kids got to make. First of all, they came here to get an education, and I think everybody's got to make their own choice as far as what they want to do, how they learn better. But the first I heard of it was my son said, I got an email from a professor, which if anybody's got someone that goes to Pitt, you'd know this, or maybe you wouldn't. But he got an email, and some of our players have gotten it, some haven't. But got an email said, hey, listen, you have an opportunity to come to the class or Zoom into the class. My son decided, hey, I'll Zoom in. If I can Zoom in, I'll Zoom in. I like that. So I think, that'll kind of maybe make the classroom smaller as far as, you'll be able to spread them out when there is people there. And, I'd imagine half are going to Zoom, half are going to say, I want to go to class. And then maybe a teacher says, hey, I don't want to go to class. And again, I don't even know what the protocol is at Pitt, to be honest with you. If a teacher says, I'm not going to class, I'm doing it Zoom, then that whole class, obviously, they won't have the choice. So, I don't know if I'm going to recommend, I may recommend, hey, I think Zoom is the safest, but if you learn better in being in that class and being with that professor that you chose to have a class with, I think that's important too. So I don't want to shut down their life. I don't want to make it like I'm scared, because I'm not scared. I think if we all approach this thing as like, oh gosh, I think, you'll end up playing scared. You'll end up coaching scared. You'll end up, going to school scared. And I don't think we need to be scared. I think we need to, attack life like we need to attack it and be as safe and smart and responsible as we can be.
Pat, we've seen a couple of college football players opt out because of COVID concerns. Caleb Farley from Virginia Tech did that. I think it was a couple days ago. Do you expect any of that from any of your players in the fall season?
No, John, I don't. Now, you said a couple. Was he the only one, or has there been more since then? I did hear his.
There was the kid, the running back, I think, from Illinois, did it as well.
Okay. I didn't hear that one, but no, I don't expect anybody to make that decision. But as we get closer to the season, we get closer, middle of camp, and all of a sudden a couple guys get sick or test positive. Because a lot of guys are really not getting sick; they're really just testing positive. If that's going to happen, around the country. But I respect everybody's decision to make a decision based on what they need to do for themselves. And I've said it, I don't know how many times in Zoom meetings with our kids, like if there's a time we had a bunch of voluntary workouts. It's like, guys, don't be afraid. If you're scared, then stay home. Don't come in. They fill out a questionnaire every day, 4-question questionnaire every day, as we do a staff as well. Just how do you feel? And, we've had some kids say, hey, I got a headache this morning. It's like, stay home. Great. Thank you for saying something. And then you know what? They're back the next day. It was just a headache. But you know what? Our kids are being smart like that. I don't want a guy coming in with a headache, you know, and then all of a sudden it turns into something bigger, saying, well, I just thought it was a headache. So, you know, we've been smart that way, and we hope to continue to do it.
Pat, have you had your I mean, you obviously had the kids that were early enrollees here earlier, but have you had your 2020 freshmen here, and how does this situation affect, you know, their ability to make an impact on the team right away, maybe compared to guys that come in a more normal circumstance?
Yeah, I would say this. Freshmen are getting that's a benefit for them right now. Okay. This 12 access, you know, summer access walkthroughs has really helped us as coaches, you know, get our hands on our players as far as what they're doing, how they're doing it. In the past, you know, there was no coaching for them. There's no, hey, this is how you get lined up. You know, I've taken the defensive freshmen all by myself and let the ones and twos walk through. So we really had you guys know pre-practice usually do a 2-spot walkthrough, you know, defensively ones and twos. I've taken all the freshmen down and had my own little walkthrough with those guys. So we've really got a 3-spot walkthrough, and they've been impressive as far as getting lined up. Now, will they hit anybody? Well, you know, when the heat's turned on, are they going to, you know, get lined up right? I feel a heck of a lot more confident about what they're doing mentally right now than I would have any class so far, just because we've had those walkthroughs. So those summer access walkthroughs that the NCAA allowed us to have, and again, I said we finished 7, we'll have 8 tomorrow, has really helped our football team overall, because the coaches can be out there and coach them offensively, splits, and, you know, I mean, we got kids getting a lot of reps, and we're working, you know, we're going fast tempo reps just to get as many as we can. So that's really been a substitute a little bit for maybe a missed spring ball.
Are you have all those kids, or are you still waiting for some?
Every one of them is here. Yeah, we've got everybody here, as well as Keldrick Wilson as well is here and doing a great job too. So we got all of our freshmen are here that we expected to be here, I think. I can't think if there's anybody. EJ, help me out.
Pat, following up on that, you mentioned earlier that we haven't talked in a few months or so. I mean, has there been any roster attrition or movement, any transfer portal action since we last talked?
No, we haven't had it. Usually that gets in the newspaper. There's been nobody in the portal, no transfers, you know, which is normal for us. I don't like transfers. You know, we try to hold on to our guys and have a good culture that way. Roster changes. Yeah, it's been a long time. I tell you what, when we open camp next week, I'll give you the full. I'll double check. I just don't want to miss anybody, or I can't. We'll give you an answer next week. How about that, John? Is that okay? Is that fair? Just so I don't want to miss somebody, say something. I'd rather give you a full, good answer, and I'll have it written out.
Sure.
I might even hand it to you.
All right, sounds good. No, we talked about the schedule earlier. I meant to follow up and ask about there being no divisions. And obviously, I guess that goes hand in hand with not playing, you know, UNC and Virginia and stuff. But what were your thoughts about them just having the 15 teams under one roof?
You know, it doesn't matter to me. Give me a team to play. Give me some white lines and some green field, and let's go play. I don't, you know, it doesn't really matter. It's like our goal every year is to win them all anyway. So we want to win them all and get to that championship game, whatever date that is. We don't even know what date that is, I don't think. So we want to win them all, and we're going to play each game as one game and try to win them all. And if you do that, you have a chance to go to the championship game. If you don't, then you don't have a chance. So try to win as many as you can. I think it's a great conference. I think there's a lot of competition, you know, and then add Notre Dame into the mix makes it even tougher. So, you know, our job is to take it one game at a time. I just wish we knew who our opener was. I mean, you know, it'd be, you know, you hope it's one of those teams that you've at least spent a lot of time on in the summer, as opposed to a team that you didn't know was on your schedule all of a sudden gets thrown at you real quick. That's not fun for anybody.
Yeah, does that prep for like the North Carolina, Virginia, like does that just stuff you just go in the garbage? You put it in a folder somewhere? I mean,
yeah. You know, during our quarantine time, you know, we zoomed in, you know, we worked on, hey, today we're working on this guy, tomorrow, you know, so maybe 3 or 4 days we worked on North Carolina. You know, you just take that right like this. So that whole thing, just wasted days, wasted Zoom days, which drives you nuts. You wish you could have taken our 9 ACC games and said, just give us one so we can work on one, but you at least didn't throw out all the extra days of work. I don't know how hard that was, but we made it hard and we wasted a lot of man hours.
Do you have any sense of who you guys will be playing as the one non-conference game at all?
I have a sense, you know, I'm not sure. Coach LaSalle, am I allowed to say anything? Am I going to get in trouble? Don't say anything? Shaking his head. You guys see it. So I would tell you, okay? I would tell you, but, you know, and again, but you don't know. You really don't know what's going to happen. So even if we knew, if we were close to signing a contract, I think as soon as we sign a contract, then we'll let everybody know. But, you know, you still don't even know. And then you don't want to sign a contract and then the team pulls out on you. You know, it's kind of a different deal trying to sign a contract in August to play a team.
Pat, I noticed a tweet this morning. You guys retweeted it. You had 300 quarterback pressures last year. I know I did Nation. I was wondering is that an accurate number, and how can you possibly improve on that?
I don't know if it's an accurate number. You know, retweets. If it's positive, I go, oh, I like that, and then go retweet it. But you know, was that PFF, right? Pro Football Focus. You know, Pro Football Focus is pretty accurate. But you know, how do we improve on that? You know, to repeat some of those things and to get the production Jalen Twyman had, and Jalen, you know, and Patrick Jones and Deslin, and you know, Rashad Weaver's back. Keyshawn Camp looks good. I mean, those guys look great right now, guys. I mean, you know, to me, you got to stay grounded is the first thing, as a defense and as a front seven, and stay fresh, keep them healthy. In many ways, more than just a sprained ankle nowadays, as you know, and then throw them out there and let them go play. But you know, we hope, you know, we've got some new schemes in, some new tweaks here and there as far as our scheme, and we hope we can put some more pressures on the quarterback. You know, I don't know how accurate it is, but I'm guessing they're charting hits on the quarterback. But that's our goal. Our goal was to better that 300.
Pat,
Obviously, you guys had
added practice as you normally would during the summer, or do you have to do you add more since there's a little more time, or do you have the same number but just wait longer to get into it because you didn't have spring and all the other stuff?
Here's the schedule right here. You guys see that? You guys videoing that? But we're going to pace it out. I think we're allowed to have 25 practices. Now we got an extra week. We're starting early. What I don't want to do is wear our kids out. I don't want to wear them out to the point where they're like, oh yeah, we back the season up a week to the 12th, and all of a sudden now we're grinding it out even more. So, you know, the key is keep them healthy. Okay. Not only physically with what we're doing on the field, but also, you know, with this virus that's going around. And, you know, so we're going to get in, you know, we hope, you know, 27 practices, which we normally get 25 in. So we may steal 2 that we normally wouldn't have, looking at the numbers there. You know, but we're not trying to maximize it and get all these extra practices. And I think, you know, someone that maximizes gets all these practices may get none. You know, you may just mess it all up and have a tired football team. And I want a fresh football team. I want a fresh staff. So we start off, we're going to have a camp and make it a grind of a camp early. We'll be in a hotel till the 15th of August, and then we'll kind of break camp. You know, classes start on the 19th, as you guys know, and then we'll just kind of adjust it that way and try to, you know, keep control of our guys and make sure we're doing the right things.
Coach, you're saying that, but you really don't know. This is the hope, right? Like if everything just keeps getting pushed back, you guys just keep grinding and grinding to whatever that next deadline is.
Yes, but we'll adjust our practices, Kelly. We'll adjust it so we don't, you know, again, put it this way. I had this calendar, you know, poor John Ford I don't know how many calendars he's made up, but, you know, a week earlier we said we'll start on no earlier than the they said the season will not open any earlier than the 19th was the original thing we got. So I was like, okay. So we rush in, get our pencil out. We start, you know, planning the schedule for the 19th. And we also made one for the 26th. And then, you know, we got that all, we're like ready to go. And then all of a sudden you get the news that, hey, we're opening up on the 12th. And I'm like, you know, I thought it was no earlier than the 19th. So that's kind of how our unusual days have gone. So we really don't know, but as coaches, you know, we love to plan. We love to prepare. That's half the duty, is just making sure we're organized and planned. So we just plan day by day. When the plan changes, you know, we plan on scoring a touchdown on offense. If you turn the ball over, it's sudden change. Now defense has got to go out there. So it's sudden change every hour. And, you know, it's exhausting.
You have to do all that stuff. Like, you have to make all these plans. You have to put this all in motion. So if the season happens, you're you're set, you're ready to go. But honestly, what's right now as we sit here on whatever July 31st at 2:30 in the afternoon, what's your confidence level on a season being played? Percentage.
I'm confident we're going to have a season. I wish, I'm confident, especially with, the bubble we're in. And I know we're not like in an NBA bubble, but in the bubble we're in right now, I feel 100% confident we're going to play a season. That's really how I feel. And, if I don't have that confidence, if our kids don't feel that way, we got issues. We're planning on it. If our kids were like, oh man, it's about a 50-50 chance, I think I'm going to go out. I'm going to go to whatever bar in downtown Oakland. I don't know any of them. And I guess all the good ones closed down. Bostic knows them all. But what's a good one? Bostic, you're on mute. What was the one that just closed down? I know the O closed down, but I'm going to go to the O's and have a beer, whatever it is. But if that's how they felt, but we haven't had that problem. So I think our kids are confident, and we're praying. I'm praying everybody else is doing their job. We're doing our job here in Pittsburgh. I hope everybody else is being responsible.
Pat, do you have an idea of what the game week protocols are going to be like for how you have to, whether it's testing your guys and then, when you have to hold players back and things like that?
I do. Chris, how am I allowed to say 72 hours and all that junk? Has that been released? I can't hear you.
The ACC guidelines, medical guidelines have been released.
Okay. So if they've been released, and I'll just tell you, I didn't want to, spill the beans here. But we know we have to test within 72 hours of a contest. And our kids know that. I've told our kids too. So, everybody that's on that, on that trip or that home game, whether it's, student trainers, student managers, coaches, equipment guys, the radio guy, Bostic's going to have to, he's going to have to test every Wednesday. But we'll test 72 hours prior to a contest. We'll get our results hopefully back within 24 hours to 48 hours. We'll see how that works. I know that's not easy. But our medical professionals have done a great job so far. And that's kind of if that's testing protocol you're talking about, Alan. So that's kind of 72 hours.
Are you gonna know, like, let's say, you're going to Clemson. Are you gonna know, like, Friday that they've got 5 guys that aren't playing, or is it gonna be like show up and they're not there and surprise?
Well, maybe we got to bring back that old injury report, right? And we dumped that. We haven't talked about that as ACC coaches, but I want to play the best Clemson team or best Louisville team that there is. I'm hoping nobody gets it. So we plan on getting nobody sick, but I didn't even think about the other side of waiting. Who's going to be that starting quarterback? Who's the running back? Hey, the D tackle's out. Is it an ankle sprain or is it COVID? Haven't really thought about that. We haven't talked about the injury protocol or, is he questionable? Is he out? So that really hasn't even come up yet, but that'll probably be our next ACC meeting. I don't know.
Pat, you said a guy, the testing will be done on Wednesdays. If a guy tests positive, then he can't play Saturday. He goes in quarantine for X number of days.
Yeah, it should be 10 days, I believe, is what we've been using here. It's 10 days. So a guy will be out for 10 days after he tests positive.
So you'd miss 2 games then, right?
Yeah, possibly if you add them up. It's not good.
Pat, the NCAA announced yesterday that it'll allow its athletes to, wear social justice statements on their uniforms. I know it was just announced yesterday, but is Pitt going to be supporting that? And if your guys want to do that?
We will be supporting that. We're trying to, what'd you call it? What is it? A what?
Like social justice statements or names?
No. What did you say on the what? On the uniform.
Yeah.
Uniform. So what we're going to try to do is Pitt, what I like to do, I'm a uniform guy. I don't come out with some pink shirt on game day trying to, look different than anybody else. But we're going to try to keep our uniform the same. So, Heather talked about this a long time ago. Like we're coming up with some type of logo, maybe for our helmet and the jersey, whatever it may be, but we're going to come up with something. I think the ACC is the only conference in the country that utilizes the bumper pad in the front. So I think we have an ACC thing here, an ACC thing in the back. Maybe we can get the ACC to give us one of those so we can put something there as well. This might be the right time to do it, but we try to get, as assistant coaches, that changed, during the quarantine time and we got shut down. But I think it'd be a good time to maybe put something on our helmet in that spot. Otherwise, we'll look like a race car out there. But I want to keep our uniforms uniform. Okay. I'd like us to all look the same. I'm big into the discipline. I don't want, it to be a me show. I like it to be a we show, so that we all look alike and uniform. So we'll definitely do something. And I know Heather was trying to work on, something to be kind of a nationwide thing. She's done a lot of extensive work on that. I haven't seen the fruits of it yet, but I'm sure they're coming.
Do we have any other follow-up questions? Kelly, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just one more. I'm always
Kelly, you've been at the beach? Have you been at the beach or something?
I have not. I'm actually going on Sunday right into the eye of a hurricane because that's how Burkett's roll.
Hey, you might as well go for it.
I was just going to say,
get your surfboards and your body boards out there. Those boogie boards, I should say. Be ready.
That's what we do. But I always say this is Pittsburgh's son. But you were saying that we haven't had a positive test, but you haven't had a positive test in a while and things like that. Do you say that's because of veteran leadership? Is that because you're an older team or veterans on your team? Do you think that they're taking the younger ones under their wing and saying, don't screw this up?
I think they are. And, I also think it's just, like I said, our medical people giving us advice on what to do, how to do it. It's been the leadership in this building. I think it starts with the leader. As you know, if the leader never walks around with a mask, but then tells everybody to wear a mask, but doesn't wear one constantly, that's an issue. So if they see me walking around without one, or I go on the field without one, it's like, well, coach ain't wearing one, I'm not wearing one. So I think it's really the leadership of this building. Let me just tell you this. I mean, we've been in this office since June 1st as a coaching staff. I'll give you this, your last medical, I can't believe you didn't ask these questions, Jerry. The last medical, we've had everybody in this building. I think we brought Coach Junko back a little bit later because I was a little bit more concerned with him. And I think he splits out a little bit earlier. I said, listen, if you don't feel good, get out of here. Obviously you worry about, everybody in the building. But we haven't had anybody. Actually, I take that back. We had one guy, but no coaches. So you had one guy in all this time, so how many days it's been since June 1st?
Pat, a football question. You have a veteran team obviously coming back. But I was wondering, some of your freshmen look pretty good in the few days we saw them at spring ball. Do you expect to use your freshmen this year in a significant portions of the game?
We're going to use them when they're ready to go. That's for sure. I'll use every one of them. You see more and more stuff out there during some of the walkthroughs, as far as just the mental part of it. Some guys you didn't see before mentally do some things. So, we're going to use who's ever ready. We're going to use our best players. There's some rumor, we got the 4-game redshirt rule. There's some, I don't want to say rumors. We've talked about as a staff. I don't even know where it's at as far as, possibly a 6-game, giving them a 6-game redshirt rule. There was some talk about that. You guys can maybe dig up, shoot EJ an email if you find out some information on that. Maybe it's already passed and I missed that because we get emails at 9:00 at night with new rules. Like today, we just got, we got the rule, I guess, late yesterday afternoon, late last night, that we could wear our helmets in this access period. Today was the first day. So we actually, in our walkthrough, had helmets on like we will in our first practice on the 7th of August. So things change daily. And we got that information, but they're talking about a 6-game. I don't know if it's been, voted on or not, but, 6-game, redshirt rule, which, with what's going on with not knowing who you're going to have, you got to be able to play those guys. You hate to waste a kid's year because of a COVID year when he's not ready, but you have to use him because of guys are out. So those are all the crazy things that we're preparing for. So I hope the 6-game, I think for the kids' sake, if we talk about, we care about student athletes, that rule will pass as well.
Pat, did Joe Yellen hear from the NCAA on his waiver request?
He has not yet, Jerry. Great question. We're hoping that's going to go through, but, I don't work with the NCAA, nor would I want to. We expect news shortly. I know some guys that went into the portal a lot later than he did have gotten news back already. We expect to hear something soon, I guess.
I've seen some stuff out there on social media about some teams doing some stuff with inserts in their helmets. You guys got anything going on like that?
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to wear our helmets out. I don't know if you guys, if there's any inventors there or not. But our kids have been wearing these on the field pretty much. You guys see these around. I got more masks. I feel like the mask, I got more different color masks, and I got every darn style. We do have these plastic things that go on the helmets, some guys have the visors and that on there. They are, it was nice to go out there today. So I got my first look at it, just to kind of see how it is. Cause I, never seen it on them. And they can voluntarily go out and wear them. They've done some 7-on-7s by themselves out there without us. So we didn't get to see it, but they, some have visors, some have, something over their mouth as a shield. And they didn't seem to be very durable today. I can imagine when contact happens, those things are going to fall. They're not as firm as this water bottle, to be honest with you. It's like, if you go like this, you're probably going to poke through it. So I don't know how, they made that for a football team. So we're going to have to find something better than that. Kids really don't like it. They're like, Coach, we don't have to wear that. Well, yes, you do. And, some of the guys were like saying, I'm not going to use it. It's like, oh, you're going to use that or you ain't playing. So that's the rules right now. So they got to get used to it. It's just, it's tough in the weight room. It's tough running with a mask on, and we try to spread them out so they can take those masks off, but it's almost impossible. Mike Stacchiotti compared it to, like waterboarding our kids, running. It's like waterboarding. It's almost torture. So it's really not easy. But I think that shield will be better. It's just got to be a little bit more durable, because there was probably 4 or 5 today that were falling off during practice, and we didn't do anything. We were walking through.
Do we have any final questions? Final one? Anyone?
That's it. I mean, it's been 30 days and you guys got nothing else.
Pat, I do have one more. This is, and you can continue to be vague about the non-conference opponent, but Heather, when she talked to us last week, said that whoever you guys played would have to be abiding by the ACC protocols.
Correct.
Is that just for that 72-hour run-up, or is it like that's what their protocol is? Or do they have to have the same platform as the ACC, or do they just have to do it for whatever that time frame is leading up to when they play you guys?
They just got to do it to be able to play an ACC member. They got to do it for us. And I believe they got to test the week before as well and the week of. I think it's really for them 2 weeks prior to, because we will have been tested 2 weeks prior to as well. So again, it's just to protect everybody. It's not that we want them to go spend money, but if they want to play with the big boys, they're going to have to, do the testing that is needed. And, I know there's probably, I don't know if there's a team out there that will not abide by those rules. I don't think that's going to be hard to get someone to say, wow, we can't do it. So I think, you can kind of look at, what we'd like to get, Will, just looking at our schedule. We'd like to keep some type of similar schedule that we had. We knew that the whole schedule got thrown up in the air and kind of where the pieces fell. But if we could have one of those teams that we've prepared for, they prepared for at least during the summer, that would make things a little nicer. I really don't want a new team that really we don't have much preparation on. That's, we got too many other things to worry about. I'm not worried about showers, meals, who's eating next to each other, put your mask on. I feel like the police officer out there. So I want to coach football.
Okay. Coach, thank you for your time. Thanks to everybody for joining us. Appreciate it very much. And again, a little bit later this afternoon, we'll have a link out for you to be able to download the video. But thank you very much, and everybody stay well.
The last thing, I'm going to check real quick. It was supposed to go out. Let me check, because I couldn't do it myself because I'm so computing. You guys haven't been on Twitter here. Let me see something here. No, it ain't out. Okay, I guess. Why? I don't know. I was going to give you some scoop. EJ, should I give him some scoop?
Yes.
You know which one I'm talking about?
I do.
Okay.
Our colleague.
It could be a little thing there. Today in our team meeting, we showed a nice video that'll come out on Twitter as a tribute to Mr. Rob Blank. But after all the years that, that Rob Blank has been our head trainer, Rob has, taken advantage of an early retirement through the University of Pittsburgh. He's just like, I can't turn it down. He told me about a week ago, I about fell out of my darn chair here. I thought he was coming to talk about, somebody tested or someone got to hurt their ankle or whatever. He's like, he started talking about him in retirement. I'm like, what? And I said, it's August. But you know what? I think everybody's goal some days you retire. As he told our team today, I've missed a lot of birthdays through the years, and that really hit me because my daughter's birthday is on August 7th. And through every fall for the last 26 years, it's like that August 7th, I always feel like I've gypped her. But he talked about just missing birthdays and vacations with his family. And, the university made him a package that he couldn't pass up. So Rob is retiring. Our kids gave him a standing ovation this morning But I'm happy for him. Obviously sad for us that we're going to, miss somebody that's worked their tails off for years. Dale Thornton will take over. Right now is the interim head trainer for us until further notice. And I've got a ton of confidence. I'm not nervous at all in the least bit. And I've told Dale that. And so I'm not afraid to tell you the same thing, that Dale is an excellent trainer, well qualified, and is going to have a great chance of being that next guy as well. And maybe he can be here for 30 some years as well. So I'll give you that scoop. You're the first ones to get that. And it's supposed to be on Twitter. Maybe my Twitter broke. Maybe it broke. All right.
Excellent. Coach, thank you very much.
Bye, guys. Have a great one.
Thank you very much, guys.
Have a good one.
See you next week.
Pat, thanks.
TJ, are we doing weekly Zooms for instead of practice? What are we doing?
Well, Coach, we'll have to talk about that, but I think that they certainly want their regular dose of your insight for sure.
All right. We'll work on it. I'm in.
Thank you all.
All right.
Bye.